So I've been at Petuum for 10 months now, and you've been here for
almost a year and a half.
Okay, which is forever in startup terms.
Yeah, exactly.
But why don't you?
I'm an old geezer now.
Why don't you tell us a little bit? Like, what's your favorite thing that you've learned since you've been here?
Yeah, it's quite amazing. There are so many things that I like here. I couldn't pick just one.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll share a few. So before joining here, I didn't realize that you can actually combine multiple sophisticated ML models together to come up with solutions.
Right.
And that's what I learned here, where our ML engineers, when they build solutions for customers, a lot of times they bring together different models, very sophisticated models, combine them together and come up with a solutions that the customers is amazed with. The other thing that was very important for me as well, which is a very key thing that our founders talk about all the time, is applying the right tool for the right problem.
Right.
Because today there's sort of a fad. So ML also has its own, I guess, fashion or
Sure.
fad,
Yeah.
where a lot of people now go really deep into just doing deep learning, and everything is being solved by deep learning.
Yeah, there's those buzzwords that you always hear about. There's all kind of new trends coming out, but like you said, it's a matter of what tool is best suited to solve that particular problem.
Exactly, and in one of the engagement with the customers was telling us that they're using this very sophisticated deep neural network in order to solve a problem. When our ML engineer heard that and tried to understand what problems they were trying to solve, they basically said, don't use that. Use a classical machine learning method to do it.
Yeah.
Not only cheaper, faster, but it solves it even better. So I think that's one thing that has sunk in with me as well. Yes, we can definitely do a very sophisticated problem solving with ML, but at the same time, there are classical methodologies that you can use to solve a simple business problem or a business problem.
Sure.
So what about you? I mean, you've been here, like you said, for about 10 months now.
Yeah.
What is the one or two things? I won't say one thing now. What is the one or two
one
things?
One thing. I'll pick one thing. So I'd say, like, from the engagements that I've had with my industrial customers over the years, I think it's very different what happens in the real world versus what we wish were to happen whenever we think theoretically about solving a business problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so mine actually, again, comes back to the data side. So sometimes whenever we work with customers, one of the first things that they do whenever we try to engage is they try to clean up their data in some way, right? Like you are worried about, do you have the right data? Is it clean? Making sure that you put your best foot forward whenever you're engaging with us so that we can actually solve it. But the realization of the lesson learned for me is that here at Petuum, we actually want the dirty data.
Yes.
We want to see, like, the good, bad, and ugly. We want to see all the anomalies that come with, like, the day-to-day of, like, the real-world operating environment.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, what we can do is through our different ML techniques and the way in which we build a solution to solve that problem, we can expect what's going to happen in the real world, and then create a more robust solution that it's not going to throw off our solution whenever we go live. We go live, like, real-time streaming, and now if there's some anomalies, because that's not how we trained it, now we can account for that in the real world. Make it a little bit more easy for the customers whenever we actually go and operationalize the models.
Yeah, exactly. Those dirty data sometimes actually contains important signals that maybe because a lot of times customers deal with it on a daily basis, they may not see it as important.
Mm-hmm.
But when we actually apply our expertise and techniques, we actually will realize that this is actually an important data signal that is applicable to the problem that we are solving.
Yeah, so don't clean your data before you send that to us.
So that's great. There's a lot of exciting things that we have learned at the company. What about looking forward, maybe a year or two? What do you want to see? What do you expect to see? And what do you want to learn going forward being with Petuum?
Sure. So again, it's probably going to be more on the business side and how we can solve some real world problems. So, of course, in addition to learning all the technology side, like you love, but I'm curious, how do we actually help people in the real world, right? A lot of times we start small. We have one project, one use case that we're trying to resolve for our customers and show value. What I am excited to learn in the next 12 months or so is how do we scale that? So rather than solving one problem for a customer, how do we bring that and bring it to a new line of the business? Supply chain, procurement, maintenance, right? How do you make it so we have AI across the business? I think that's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, that is very cool to see.
Yeah. How about you? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, as you alluded to, my geeky side of me really enjoys the technology. So I do want to learn the continuous innovations in the AI space and figuring out what are the latest and greatest in technologies and how that's applicable. And I think probably why I like working with you, because I love the technology side. And
I'm the business counterpart.
Right. And you can come in to me and say, hey, it's great, but what is the
what
real
problem
world
are we
applications?
solving?
Exactly. or translate that into a language that our customers can understand. So without me geeking out too much, you can say, hey, let's get down to the real world.
Yes, exactly.
So.